lost a great man, a great friend, a great role model, a father figure.
I want to thank Coach Thompson for saving my life.
You can see here's a guy that does it his way. He wins, he's successful, understood what it was about.
Behind the fight the power image, underneath all of that to us, he was just Pops.
He loved this city, he loved the people of this city, he loved everything about this city. Pops is DC.
A Washingtonian through and through, John Thompson Jr. grew up in all four corners of the District of Columbia. However, the man he became to be wasn't because of his prowess on the basketball court early on. It was due to what happened in the classroom.
Not that he had a learning disability, he just could not read at a young age. And once he got help, he did very well in the classroom. Being embarrassed by being told incorrectly that you can't learn was a driving force for the rest of his life. A
towering center on the hardwood, Thompson led Archbishop Carroll High School to 2 consecutive undefeated basketball seasons from 1958 to 1960, which caught the eye of a legendary NBA coach that would shape his college and professional career.
At that time, Red Auerbach lived in Washington, D.C. He and Red had a relationship, and Red talked about Providence positively, and of course the Celtics were Celtics. And he went to Providence, did well, and ended up playing for the Celtics.
After 2 seasons and 2 championships with Boston, he came back to D.C. and almost immediately got into coaching, turning St. Anthony's High School into a powerhouse before Georgetown came knocking in 1972.
After growing up in Washington, D.C., he said, now they want me to come coach at a school that wouldn't even allow me to play at the school.
Year 1 or year 2, in the middle of a game, someone hangs a sheet through the window. Thompson and flop must go. It wasn't all peaches and cream. You know, it was a process.
It only took 3 seasons for Thompson to turn around a 3-23 Hoyas team and guide them to the NCAA tournament for the first time in 29 years. In 1979, Georgetown joined the Big East Conference, striking up a contentious rivalry with Syracuse. Fill in the blank. Big John blank Syracuse.
See, why would you do that?
You trying to set me up, Chris.
Loved competing against.
Loved competing against Syracuse.
Manley Fieldhouse is officially closed. When you heard that for the first time, what did you think?
Right on.
And he was like, what? I said it. It's what it was. Let's get it on.
12 years after taking reign on the hilltop, John Thompson's crowning achievement came as Georgetown finally climbed the mountaintop of collegiate basketball.
I remember the day he was leaving the house to go to the first round. You know, the bracket had come out either that day or 2 days before in the Post. And he comes downstairs and he slaps a piece of paper on the table, and nothing's filled out except the champion. And he had Georgetown written in. And he said, it's gonna happen, and walked out the door.
I knew that he really wanted it. I knew what it represented. I knew what he went through to attain it.
Let's be honest here. Most of what he will be remembered for won't be that '84 championship. It will be the fact that he was willing to take a stand.
In 1989, Coach Thompson walked out of a basketball game in opposition to an NCAA rule, Proposition 42, which was designed to affect lower socioeconomic disadvantaged students.
He just drove around the city, listened to the game on the radio, you know, but just was driving around the city at all the places, neighborhoods he used to live in. If this goes into effect, how many football players over at H.D. Woodson won't have a chance to get aid?
We understood who he was, but it wasn't until a little later that we understood the magnitude of what he was standing for and how potentially volatile it could have been.
John Thompson Jr. garnered numerous accolades and honors before and after his retirement in 1999, including an athletic center bearing his name on Georgetown's campus that opened in 2016.
It was something that he'd always say, yeah, people got statues or, you know, people got their name on the court. He said, look, I got to build it.
As he said, Georgetown allowed me to be me. For someone to be able to come in and have that story told about who's this guy right here and why is this called the John Thompson Center. That's something that was important to him and is important to me and our family.